The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
The Scoop. The Scoop. Hey, what's up? This is your girl Ashley Marie, and you're tuned into The Scoop, your one stop for all things love, lifestyle, and relationships on MorrisMediaLive.com.
I said, welcome to the school. You know it's time to tune in. You gotta tell all your friends, girl, welcome to the school. You know it's time to tune in. You better tell all your friends, homie, welcome to the school. The time is now, tune in. You better buzz in your friends, y'all welcome to the school. Gather around, tune in. Now let the show begin. Hey, look, it's time to tune in. If you not, then you faking it. The best topics, love, lifestyle, and relationships. The dopest host in the world, Ashley Marie, holding it down from 7:30 to the 9:00 p.m. You better tell a friend every Wednesday night, cause you know she going in. They breaking the hottest artist in the game right now. No competition, so she in her own lane right now. You need the latest and the greatest, somebody that's gonna debate it. Well, we got it on lock, I know they hate it. So you can learn a lot if you choose to pay attention. We talk world news, sports, don't let me fail to mention how to get your money right, so you can live a lovely life. Call in and get you some advice. It's not a game no more, we taking over the airwaves. MorrisMediaLive.com to catch the replay. You know it's time to tune in. You gotta tell all your friends, girl, welcome to the school. You know it's time to tune in. You better tell all your friends, homie, welcome to the school. The time is now, tune in. You better buzz in your friends, y'all welcome to the school. Gather around, tune in. Now let the show begin.
What's up, you guys? Happy Wednesday. Welcome to The Scoop. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are your one stop for all things love, lifestyle, and relationships. I am your host, Ashley Marie, and we have a jam-packed show for you tonight. First, we'll be chatting with MTV Wildin Out comedian Darren Brand. He'll be giving us the scoop on his journey as a comedian, his life on the road, and some behind-the-scenes juice from the show. Plus, we'll be hanging out with author of children's book, Something Bigger Than Me, Jamare Harris. She'll be dishing on her new book. It just dropped. And her balance of her life as an author, educator, and a mom. So we're real excited about that. And last, but certainly not least, we'll be chatting with our very own licensed financial advisor. I like to call him our financial guru, Mr. Johannes Harrison. He'll be sharing some amazing tips on how we can get our money right and keep our money right. So all of this tonight is going on, so we're real excited. Feel free to join in on the conversation. You can dial in at 323-293-3375 and we'll put you on air and you can ask all the questions you want to ask. But we're going to get started with Mr. Darren Brand. He's actually joining us via Skype all the way from the East Coast. Darren, are you on the line with us?
Boom, we in? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What up?
Oh, let's go. What's happening?
Welcome to The Scoop.
North Carolina in the building.
Hey,
All day.
What's the weather like out there right now?
Hey, it could be, 32 freezing in the morning, high 80 in the afternoon.
Oh, it just it shifts.
It does what it wants to.
Cool.
So when you ask if is it going to be hot or cold, you say yes.
Yes, right. It'll be both in one day.
Exactly.
All right. So now you just got back from Dubai, right?
Yeah, man. Just got back from Dubai, Abu Dhabi.
I saw you living your best life on the gram.
Arab money.
Yeah. Well, how was that? What was that like?
It was good, man. Shout out to my travel company, Next Level Travel, nextleveltravel.com. That's NXLEVEL travel.com. Started about 4 or 5 years ago, man. We've been taking people to Jamaica, Dominican Republic, now Cabo, and we've done Dubai a few times, and we took a good group out there. Traveling black is the new thing right now.
It
man.
definitely
Everybody wants
is.
to travel. Everybody wants to see the world. So, some people don't know how to start. So we just put a plan together, and then we got genuinely people who want to just support us. So
right.
We're all HBCU alums. We're all graduates of North Carolina A&T State University.
Okay.
A school that supports a lot a lot of each other. So we've just been blessed to be in the situation. And Dubai was great.
Awesome. How long did you stay?
We stayed for like, I think 5 days. Everyone arrived Tuesday and left Sunday.
So how many people went?
31 this time. Last year we had 40. This time it was 31.
Wow. Dope.
Yeah.
All right. What's been the craziest trip?
The craziest trip was the Dominican Republic. We took about 175 black folks down there, man, and we showed out. It was crazy. We do something called a booze cruise where you get unlimited alcohol on the boat out to the ocean, get to snorkel. But this year, we taking 400 people to Cabo, and I'm excited to see how that's going to top everything.
That's going to be hot. And that's in June, right?
Yeah.
It? Can people still sign up for it?
Yeah, they can. They can. As a matter of fact, I want to say the link is nextleveltravel.com/Cabo.
Cool. All right. For those of y'all that want to travel with Darren Brand, you can do that.
You know what I'm saying? Come rock with your boy out the country, because out the country don't count. Whatever you do out the country don't count, because it's, it's overseas.
What, Darren, I see you blazing up over there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I got to be who I am.
Live your best life. I'm not hating.
Already.
All right. So we have seen you on MTV's Wildin Out. You are I would say like a season regular, right?
Yeah, it feels good. It feels good to hear that. I had a tough journey if we're getting on the show, but it feels good to hear people say I'm a regular or a core cast member. So it feels good to hear that.
And your shirt tonight is very accurate. You are blessed.
Blessed and fortunate.
Yes.
For all those who want to go the other route.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
Shouts out to my boy Ronnie Jordan. He's one of the comedians I look up to. Been doing comedy 17 years, and we now linked up and we do comedy together. I don't know how many people can say in their career that they work with their idols.
Right.
So that's a blessing that I get to work with him, man. So I always shout him out.
Amen to that. So what speaking of inspiration, what inspired you to get your start in comedy? How did this all begin?
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I had a normal job. I was a manager at Walgreens. I was selling drugs the legal way. You know what I mean? But one of my good friends, his name is Comedian Burpee. He's on tour with Nene Leakes. He's also was a cast member of Wildin Out for a season. He also was a joking off star for MTV.
Okay.
He called me one day when I was at work. You know, black people don't ever do anything by themselves. They never do anything by themselves.
Right.
So he called me and he was like, "Hey, man, you want to do comedy?" And I'm like, "I'm funny." You know what I'm saying? Why not?
Right.
And we did an open mic, I want to say it was 2008 in Greensboro, North Carolina. And we promoted it like it was our stand-up special. We had it packed out. And we only had to do 4 minutes, but it was the 4 minutes that changed my life. I went up there for 4 minutes, and if you're doing good, 4 minutes is short. But if you're doing bad, 4 minutes is forever.
Right.
So I ended up doing good, and I caught that hunger, like that purpose for, changing people's day and making people laugh is the best job you can have. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I've had fans come up to me like, I just discovered I had cancer. I had to smile and laugh till I seen your show tonight.
Wow.
I've had people to say, my mother died last night and my family made me come out tonight and you made me smile. And that's the best feeling in the world. When I received that, it became a drug. And I have to get on stage. I have to feel that from people because that's my complete purpose. So like if I don't get on stage for a while, I start feeling down.
Wow.
So it's like it's bigger than me. It's like it's really God's gift, and shouts out to Berkeley for giving me the courage to do it. And ever since then, we haven't looked back.
Yeah, that's a blessing to A, find your purpose, and B, be able to operate in it. And now you're operating in it on a pretty high platform. So and I know it's just gonna get better for you, bigger and better for you. I do want to give people a taste of your stand-up work. So I have a clip here of a little bit of your stand-up work. So I want to show everybody what you're all about.
Let's go.
All right, here we go.
You got to be to work tomorrow. You know what? I'm going a little late. And black people, let me tell you something. Like, we'll get drunk on the night shift, but we'll take it home. You guys here. Black people, we can drink, right?
DC Improv.
Wow. So which region in the country would you say is like the most difficult? Like what audience has been the most difficult?
Actually, I had the hardest. I'm from North Carolina. It's a place called Charlotte, North Carolina, where the Charlotte Hornets play.
Right.
Carolina Panthers. And when the beginning of my career, I would do well all over North Carolina. I would do well in other colleges, other states, and I could not get the applause or the laughter I wanted in Charlotte. for like 5 or 6, 7 months. Like I could not get it how I wanted. And finally I overcame that hump, and I just shot, me and Chico Bean, we just shot our stand-up special in Charlotte, North Carolina. So
wow, congratulations.
it just shows, you know, you just got to keep fighting that monster.
Yeah.
But I finally got over the hump, man. But now, like, you know, I can honestly say sometimes I'm not pleased with how I've done on stage, but I've never been booed or kicked off. I've always been able to, you know, get in touch with the people. So it's really God's gift. It really is, man.
Right.
When people ask me how to be funny, I really can't tell you because I don't really write my jokes. I don't write my set. I just kind of go off what I feel, and I kind of write topics, and I just freestyle it because you never know where the crowd or the energy is going to take you.
Right.
And you need to be able to be loose up there.
Right.
So, you know, you can't teach that. That just comes with reps and finding your own lane. But yeah, man,
so then when you go on stage, do you have a general idea of the material you want to cover, or you're just off the top?
It depends on the venue or the crowd. You know, if it's a college crowd, I want to talk about drinking, partying, cheating on tests, trying to survive, being broke. If it's an adult crowd, I'm gonna scan the crowd. I'm gonna talk about 80s babies and our struggles with having, you know, dial-up Wi-Fi and cell phones with no minutes.
Ooh.
And, you know, if it's 90s babies in there, I'm going to talk about how spoiled they are, how they have phones that work.
Yeah,
you know, I just got to gauge, you know, if it's a majority white crowd, I'm going to bring them into my world.
Right.
To let them know that we all the same, but, you know, y'all are just a little bit more different.
Right.
So, you know, it just depends on your crowd, and then you can get a feel from there. You just kind of go. Some of the best material comes when you just go.
Right. No, that's true. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say this. You might be the Jay-Z of comedy.
Woo!
Ooh, you like that, huh? Because you know he doesn't write.
Come on now.
There's no pen and paper. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So you were like known as the funny man on your college campus. What did you like? How did you get that reputation?
I started hosting like dorm step shows and talent shows in college, and I was the kind of dude in college. I really didn't give a fuck what anybody thought about me.
Okay.
Like I loved my school. My school taught us to have pride. I repped it hard. I spoke to everyone. I showed everybody love. I never felt like I was better than anybody. It's just, you know, I genuinely loved it. And I can honestly say because the way I acted in college, that's the reason why I'm so successful now. I've never had a show where an Aggie alum hasn't been there because the love and the support is amazing.
Okay.
So no matter what city I go to, they come deep. We take pictures, we chop it up, and I mean it's just a blessing that I have that kind of following behind me.
Right. No, that is a blessing. So now you're on a like you're constantly touring and you're constantly traveling and you have shows all the time.
Right.
So what are you what's the name of your tour, and is it like a college tour? What are the details?
There's a couple of tours I'm proud of. There's Freestyle Funny.
Okay.
That's where I started my career, where we're an improv and stand-up group. It's me, Chico Bean, Osama Bin Drinking, and B-Dot.
Osama Bin Drinking.
I know, the names are crazy. But we're all HBCU alums, Wisconsin State, North Carolina A&T. Improv stand-up. It's a 2-hour show. We do adult shows and comedy and college shows, and that's how we started. And then everyone got so busy. And you know, Chico Bean is a legit star. My brother's a legit star, and you know he's doing this thing right now. You got to let the bird fly. When they got it, you got to let the bird fly. I'm coming into my own. So now, you know, I have a tour with Ronnie Jordan and Tyler Chronicles from Boss Up TV. Wildin Out, them Wild Boys. You know, anywhere from me, DC, Carlos, me, Chico, Emmanuel. We always have those going on, and then I have a lot of individual tours that I do with colleges where I go do an hour set, meet and greet, and questions and whatnot. So I'm just, it's just, you know, you got to keep that thing going. Multiple streams of income.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's wonderful. So, like I said earlier, you're a regular on Wildin Out. How did you get your start on the show?
Chico Bean already was a star on the show. He was what you call a diamond in the rough. They looked up when they found him.
Yeah.
They really did, because he's a different kind of guy. He went up there and he killed it. He did his thing, and he became someone that they looked to for advice. And so he told them that he had a guy from home that he felt like would be great to the show. And they gave me a shot, and we drove from Charlotte, North Carolina to New York City, a 10-hour drive for a 15-minute audition.
Wow. And
I killed it. And I still had politics in it. I still had to be considered a local hire because they overcasted the show. So I had to stay in B-Dot room, who was my brother, who also was a cast member before. And I didn't get my own room to the second week of filming. And so my first year, I got 7 episodes out of 16 in the stand-up special, which is
Wow.
very hard for a person who's new.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
salute to the whole staff that gave me a chance, and him being my ride or die, going through that together.
Yeah.
And I haven't looked back since. I've been climbing up and earning my way, and I'm glad to hear you say that I'm one of the regulars on the show.
You are. So what's it like working with Nick Cannon?
I mean, Nick Cannon, that's my dude,
Uh-huh.
man. Like, take a black man, who's a black man who comes from nothing and has earned it and worked his way up, loves his kids, loves his family, and take him and put him a millionaire who loves hip hop and the culture.
Right.
That's what it is.
Right.
Like, he's the best boss I ever had. I could never say nothing wrong about Nick Cannon. I know we go in on the show, but I mean, it's been nothing but love,
Nothing
man.
but
It's
love,
been nothing but
yeah.
love. He genuinely, he genuinely respects what I bring to the show, my energy. I've heard that he has, purposely put my name on teams for episodes, because we need Darren for this episode. And
Wow.
I can't do nothing but thank him over and over for taking a chance on a young boy from North Carolina.
He seems like a real solid guy. Seems like a good
Solid.
guy. Yeah.
Solid,
yeah.
man. And then, his hands is in everything. They about to drop a mixtape, shouts out to Hitman and Clips and Con and the whole cast. Like, we're very talented, man, across the board. Like, and it just feels good to be part of that Wildin Out family.
That's awesome. So you definitely lighten up over there. I see.
Absolutely.
You are not playing. So who has been your favorite guest so far? I think I know
Snoop Dogg.
the answer. I
Snoop
knew
Dogg.
it. I knew it.
Uncle Snoop.
Uncle Snoop. All right. So you have a funny story about smoking with Snoop.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Listen, it's my first season. I'm just trying to blend in. I'm just trying to make it work.
Okay.
They come to me. They say, Darren, Carlos, Emmanuel, go teach Snoop the song. Snoop want to know what we're gonna do. So I'm like, okay, cool. All right. So I go to the room. We open the door immediately. Cumulus cloud, puff, strong. I'm like, this is amazing. I go in, and Emmanuel don't smoke, so he's in there like, you know what I'm saying?
He's dying
Carlos
in there.
is in there like this. Me and Carlos is looking at each other. I'm nervous, and Snoop is in there. Snoop is small. He's so small, his tank top is hanging off his shoulder a little bit. You know what I mean? I wanted to gently fix it, but I ain't know him like that.
Right.
But we teaching him the song or whatever, and Carlos just jumped out there. Hey, Snoop, let me hit that. And I was like, ooh, like, just don't.
Yeah, right.
Don't jump out there like
Right.
that, brother. You supposed to ease that in. And then, he hitting it, and then Snoop look at me. He say, hey, you want to hit this, nephew? And I mean, immediately, until this day, it still,
Touches your heart.
and you know how teachers have a couple pens at their desk?
Yes.
He had a couple blunts. And so and I was a certified Crip for like 42 minutes. During the break, he was playing this music. He was letting me Crip walk, and it was
got
one
the
of the
movements
best
down.
days of my life. And it's Snoop Dogg. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And we took pictures, and I mean, I wouldn't trade that moment right there. That's hands down.
The best. Awesome.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, shout out to Snoop, Uncle Snoop Dogg. So how much, I know a lot of people are wondering about some behind the scenes stuff with Wildin'
What
Out.
you want to know?
How much of it is scripted and how much of it is literally improv?
Well, I would say a lot of it's improv.
Yeah.
A lot of it's improv. The
Yeah.
only reason why we can't be so scripted because we don't know how the celebrity's going to feel that day.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of people are nervous about coming on Wildin' Out. They're really scared out here in these streets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I would
They're
be
nervous.
terrified.
Yeah. So if someone comes on, they're like, hey, don't talk about this, talk about that. Then we got to kind of work a way around it and kind of like set stuff in stone to kind of like keep the guards up to protect the brand, protect them.
Yes.
But some may come in and say whatever.
Yeah.
Then when they get there, be like, you know what? No. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But a lot of it's improv, and a lot of it depends on how Nick feels. Nick could come in there and be like, I don't like none of that. Let's go.
Ooh,
From the top.
Ooh, that's
And,
tough.
and Wildin' Out, we are a very talented group.
Mm-hmm.
It's very people
Everybody
don't understand how
is,
hard
yeah.
it is to put that show together,
Mhm.
and a lot of it is because we are just very talented.
Yeah.
We've been together for a long period of time. Some of us have been together 7 years. I've been with the boys 5 years. Like we know each other's strengths. We bond, and it's amazing.
That's awesome. So do the freestyle sessions ever get like real personal and heated?
Yeah, we actually have to cut a lot of it to save the guests because, them battle rappers, man, between Khan and Hitman and Clips
Yeah.
and now Sharon, the white boy,
Mm-hmm.
Justina's a beast. Of course, everybody loves Chico and Carlos when they get into their bag. Tim ain't scared.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot on a celebrity. And, a lot of people who make music, who come on Wildin Out, they make music.
Right.
They don't necessarily freestyle.
Yeah.
So when that wild style happened, it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if they had time to make songs, it would be good. But it's all fun and games. Some of it y'all can't see. Some of it, I'm telling you what, Wildin Out is way better live than it is on TV.
I want to come. I'm coming to New York, and I'm
you
going
to
a
got
taping.
to. It's free.
Okay.
All people got to do is pull up.
All right.
That's it.
So amongst the comedians, though, are there any jokes that are off limits, or do you guys just go for it?
Nah. It's a respect factor. A lot of my brothers are parents.
Yeah.
I'm saying? We would never talk about nobody's kids.
So
never
kids
talk
are
about
off
nobody's
limits.
old lady.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we wouldn't never talk about nobody's moms. Some of our close castmates. Some have lost fathers. Some has lost mothers. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. And we have it's not that hard because we genuinely love each other.
Right.
So we wouldn't want to disrespect each other like that anyway.
Right. So I have to ask you, who's on your, I call it the comedy GOAT list? Like, who's your top 5?
Top 5.
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx.
Ooh, good one.
Sinbad.
Yes.
Cedric the Entertainer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Ronnie Jordan.
Okay.
Because that's my guy.
That's your guy.
And then that last spot, who talks to me the most? Who talks to me? I'm going to have to... It's a dude. See, he's not even mainstream. It's a dude named Talent.
Okay. I don't think I've heard of him.
Out of New York. It's just comedy. And he used to do it with a beer bottle. He's from the Def Jam days.
Oh.
And that's where my love came from, comedy. And I would say honorable mention, Arnie S.J. Because Arnie S.J., his high energy, as much as he act, that's where I get my high energy from.
Yeah. So Faison Love was recently on The Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
And he said that he did not think Dave Chappelle was funny.
I mean, Faison, has he done stand-up?
He what?
I don't think Faison has a stand-up special out.
No.
Or, has he had a stand-up special anywhere? Probably like Comic View or something, but, he's entitled to his opinion, but Dave Chappelle is the GOAT.
Right. That's what I was going to ask you. Do you love Dave? I love
Dave Chappelle. I love Dave Chappelle. And the reason he's not in my top 5 because you asked me comedians personally for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And now, don't get me wrong. Now, if you have to go genuinely overall stand-up, you would have to say Dave, Eddie Murphy. You would have to say Richard Pryor.
Right.
You would have to say those guys. Robin Harris, which a lot of people don't know. That's what kind of Bernie Mac that's why that Bernie Mac, Robin Harris style was very similar. Them boys was crazy with it.
Right.
So, you got to know the history of comedy. Yeah. But my personal favorite for the stand-up that touches me, those are mine. But yeah, Dave Chappelle is the GOAT. I don't know anybody who can say a punchline at the beginning of a set and make you completely forget about it.
Right.
And then bring it back. And then Dave Chappelle it's like he just talks.
He does. It's very natural. It's very conversational.
He's brilliant.
Yeah, he is. I agree with that. So what do you prefer to do? You like TV more or you like stand-up more?
I love stand-up.
Yeah. That's your first love, right?
TV is fun. TV is a bonus. Every opportunity I get, I'm very thankful for. But stand-up is that's the rawness about it. That's where I come from.
Right. So speaking of stand-up, what you obviously travel a lot for it. So what city has been your favorite to visit and do stand-up?
Atlanta.
Ooh.
Hands down.
Okay.
There's nothing better than Black Hollywood.
Hey, yeah,
they coming, they showing out, they coming to laugh. They into it, they love it, they're fans. Atlanta.
Okay. Now I don't know your relationship status, but did you have your first groupie encounter in Atlanta?
No.
No? Okay.
I've been getting it poppin' since college.
Oh.
Not so much now, though. Not so much now. I've settled down and, I'm locked in. But
you're like, okay.
Yeah, but, college, woo, off the chain.
You had it popping?
Yeah, we good.
Okay. All right. So who would you like to, who would you like to work with one day? Like, I want to work with this person.
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube. Why Ice Cube? That's awesome.
I mean, everything Ice Cube touches
is gold, platinum.
Gold.
Yeah.
Gold.
Agreed.
Definitely want to work with Ice Cube. Definitely want to work with, if black comedians could do what Adam Sandler does, use the same 6-7 homeboys in every movie, it would be amazing, man. I really think DC Young Fly, Carlos Miller, Chico Bean, myself, Tyler Chronicles, Billy Sorrells, Teddy, Ray, Leonard Oots. I really think, in this new generation of stand-up, we could change that.
Yeah. Yep. Shout out to Teddy Ray. He's a friend of the Scoop. He's been on.
Oh, I love Teddy Ray. That's my boy. I love Teddy Ray.
He's a good guy. Real good guy. So,
Billy Sorrells, all of those guys, man, we really are the future of this, and we support each other genuinely. We love seeing each other succeed. I just feel like we could change that. And if they don't give us a chance, we'll just do it ourselves, like me and Bean did. We didn't wait for somebody to give us a deal. We shot our own independent special, and when we pitch it, somebody's gonna pick it up. That
is the truth. That's what a lot of people are having to do now, just creating their own content and making it work from there. But that actually, I want to ask you about. You've obviously gotten your taste of the TV world. What is your thoughts on the whole Monique situation? Do you think there is a disparity in salaries in Hollywood based on gender and race?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So absolutely. You do agree with that. So do you think we should be boycotting Netflix? Is that something that Monique should be calling for? Do you think she handled that correctly?
I feel like Monique was I understand where she was coming from, but if they turn you down, you're Monique. You have the money to shoot your own special and do it yourself.
Right.
Invest in yourself. And Monique, let's be honest, you haven't really been out there lately.
Right.
And everything today is all about now.
Yeah. What have you done?
Everything is about now. Jay Holiday was one of the dopest R&B artists ever. But what has he done today?
Right.
Mario, Sammy. You know what I'm saying?
So what would have happened if you were, let's say you were an Oscar winner and Netflix would have offered you, what did they offer her? $500,000. How would you have handled that?
Well, I'm one of them people who was never forgotten. So
right, you would have took them 500.
I'm probably gonna take that 500K, and by the time I get done with it, it's gonna flip to a couple of mil. But
right, you would have made it work. You would have made it work.
I would have made it work. So, I would have made it work.
Okay. All right, so I kind of touched on this earlier. So late 2017, I feel like there was a lot of controversy around the comedy world. Right. One thing in particular that stands out is the whole Kevin Hart situation, right? So him and Michael Blackson kind of had some beef because Michael Blackson went on social media, made fun of the whole situation he was having with the cheating scandal. So I want to ask you, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think Michael was wrong? Should he have fallen back and not made a joke about that? And you being a comedian of the younger generation, a lot of stuff is done on social media with you guys, more so than Kevin and Michael. You guys are kind of the pioneers of the social media comedy. So is there a rule? Do you not go on there and thrash your friend even on a public forum with a situation that's embarrassing?
If you do, you definitely have the conversation first.
Okay.
I feel like, what I'm saying, out of respect, but I don't know. I think Michael's at the point where he just, everybody, there's a lot of successful comedians out here who feel like they haven't made it because of the success Kevin has achieved.
Wow.
And that's what's going on. A lot of people just want to be that, he's the model. He's what you want to be.
Right.
A lot of people, Michael Blackson, there was a point in time in Greensboro, North Carolina, where Kevin Hart opened for Michael Blackson. And I was at that show. So, there were times I put a show together in college. I was vice president. Kevin Hart opened for Ricky Smiley.
Wow.
So, it's those relationships are there. It's a very small group. We all know each other. Even though we act like we don't, we all know each other.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
think
you go ahead.
I just don't think Michael care no more. You know what I'm saying? He
Right.
really don't. He just like, whatever, anybody can get it.
Right.
And I mean, me personally,
Yeah, how do you
someone
deal with
like
that?
Kevin, I wouldn't come at like that, because
Mhm.
the man has his own Laugh Out Loud network.
Right. Right. Agreed. So what's next for Darren Brand?
Man, just finished the stand-up special, about to get that edited and pitched out. Back on the
Okay.
road. I got shows in Wyoming, Florida, bottom of Georgia. I got to go back to New York for a second. Getting ready to travel this summer, going to Cabo,
Yes.
going to Greece, Athens, Croatia, trying to
Okay.
go over there, see that part of the world. Hopefully I get one of the joking festivals out this summer in Toronto, Just for Laughs in Montreal.
Okay.
And just blessed, working and steady writing and,
Right.
being the best me I can be.
Absolutely. What's
Got that right.
what's your big goal? Like, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
My big goal is I want to shoot a documentary of an HBCU college tour.
Ooh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
What would we see in that documentary? Like, what would you want to feature?
The road
on?
trips,
Yes.
the gas station stops, the prayer before the shows,
Yes.
the band of each school, just the culture of HBCUs, the energy,
Mm-hmm.
the people, the essence of us, man.
Yeah.
That's where comedy comes from. It comes from us.
Yeah. Well, I'm so excited for everything that you have going on, Darren.
I appreciate it.
And I know you're going to go far. I feel it. I can tell you have an awesome work ethic and you just have a great personality. So I'm really excited about your work and seeing where you go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us on The Scoop. Anything else you want to?
Scoop?
Yeah. So, give out your handles, your social media handles. Where can people find you?
Instagram is Darren Brand _DARRENBRAND_ That's my Instagram and Twitter. Email Darren Brand at Gmail for booking and all that. Yeah, man. Facebook, Darren Big Baby Brand. Come like it. Videos up there. Get your laugh on.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's me. Holler at me, folks. Let's link up.
All right, Darren. Well, thank you so much for joining us. You are awesome.
Already. Smoke one.
All right. I'll try.
Bye.
I'll try not to choke.
All right.
Bye. Thanks, Darren. Bye. You guys are tuned into The Scoop. That was MTV's Wildin Out comedian, Darren Brand. He was gracious enough to join us. Awesome interview with him. We are going to take a quick break. We still are going to hang out with author, writer, well, same thing, author and writer, author, educator, and mother, Jamare Harris. She actually has a new book out. It's called Something Bigger Than Me. So we're going to chat with her about her new book. So we're real excited. Our break song is, well, let me go up and figure this out. Looks like we have Beyonce and Jay-Z and DJ Khaled with Top Off. This is a hot song right now.
Real too. Oh! I ain't gonna stop.
Welcome back to The Scoop, you guys. That was Jay-Z, Beyonce, and DJ Khaled with Top Off. That's a hot song right now. Love that song. You're tuned into The Scoop, and we are your one stop for all things love, lifestyle, and relationships. Tonight, we are also hanging out with author and educator and mother, Jamare Harris. She is the author of her brand new book, Something Bigger Than Me. I think we got it there in the shot. Thank you so much for joining us, Jamare.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. So tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you begin your journey as a writer?
Well, I always wrote. That's something I always loved to do. However, I became a preschool teacher at the age of 21, 22.
Okay.
And the children inspired me. Well, I'm always reading books to them.
Right.
And I would read books and I'm like, there are no people like me. You know what I mean? And that was my first, I guess, push to write a children's book. So, for children of color, because I didn't see, there were very few and far between, let me say that.
Right.
And I knew that I loved writing. I knew I didn't want to write novels. I didn't like writing in length, but I liked,
short stories
and things like that. So that's what started it.
All right. So tell us a little bit about Something Bigger Than Me.
I wanted to write something that had to do with God, or the questions that people at this age, at about 5, and which is what I teach. Children have this question about God and the universe and the world. And so as teachers, we learn to pull answers out of them and not give them answers. And so I wanted to write this book that would not necessarily answer their question, but just kind of give an insight to what a child thinks about and how they think and how they come to these, answers and questions. And so I had thought about it for a while, and my other stories just kind of came to me. And this one took a while, but when it came to me, it just was like a purging. And I sat in one sitting and I wrote it out.
And you wrote it?
And I wrote it out, and that was that. And I've done like some fine tuning, but that's usually how my books happen. Like I have an idea and I kind of stir it for a little bit, and then it just comes out.
Yeah, what I was going to ask you, what's the writing process like? Do you what do you do? I have to fill the audience in. We're laughing because her 5-year-old is in the audience right now, and she's clapping for Mom. So we'll all clap for Mom. That was a good one.
Thank you. Hi, baby.
Okay. So, so what is the writing process like for you? So you probably have a lot of ideas that come to you. So how do you flesh out each idea and pick what to do with, which story?
It's kind of old school. You know how when, growing up, they teach you how to make a web. And then from the web, I
forgot about those webs.
You spider out different ideas.
Right.
It's kind of like that,
Okay.
And really, it's in my head, and I'm thinking about what I want to write about. And so that's constantly just in my mind all the time. And then when I get home, I have like 1,000 notebooks. I'm notebook crazy and pen crazy. And I start with like a web sometimes. And then from the web, literally, it's like a purging. It just comes out. As soon as I start writing, it comes out of me, and I cannot stop until the book is finished or the story is finished. Even if it's not perfect, it has to have an ending. Like I will not go to sleep until it's out of me.
Wow.
And then I'll go back, read it, fix things, edit it myself, fine tune it, take stuff out, add stuff. But that's really how it happens for children's books.
Right.
Now, novelists and things like that, I can't speak for them. I don't know.
I was going to ask you what the difference is between writing a children's book and a novel.
Because I've never written a novel, I don't know. I read a lot of them.
Right.
But they take way longer. And there's probably a little more research done because there's different parts. You have to develop each character, like, thoroughly. I'm reading The Hate You Give right now.
Okay.
Have you heard of that?
No.
The Hate You Give, and it's a young adult book.
Okay.
And there's so many characters, and every character has to have, a background, and you have to develop them so much, and then remember their story for, 300-400 pages. So this is like, okay, look, Zeke, his mom, his dad.
Right.
Mom's really not in the, picture. Right. They don't need a lot of background. He's just telling his story, and it's done. So I think that's the difference. Mostly.
Okay. Do you see yourself writing a novel one day?
No, I don't. However, I do Single Ladies Tip Tuesday on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
And someone told me I should turn that into like a chicken soup for,
yes.
the Black woman soul
I was
type of
thinking
thing.
that would actually be great for that.
Right. So I would do something like that.
Okay.
But not a novel.
Not a full-on novel.
Right.
Okay. So what age range is this book for?
So I always say children's books are for everyone. That's what I always say. However, I would say preschool age and elementary age, which is like K through 5.
Okay.
So, however, as an adult, I love children's books. I know adults who collect children's books. So
really?
I think, yeah.
They collect them?
They collect them. There's some good children's books out there.
I believe you.
Right.
But what are they collecting
Their
them for?
grandchildren.
Oh, okay. So they have children in their lives.
Right, yeah.
Okay. So it's not like single people.
Not that I know of.
Collecting.
Which they could be. I don't know. But
I'm
not
not hating.
across.
I'm just saying that's different.
little strange.
Yeah. Strange would be the word.
Right.
Okay. So what was so you kind of explained what the inspiration was behind the storyline.
Right.
You being an educator, your students are always asking you questions.
Right.
We'll give the audience a little bit of background on the book without giving it all away.
Okay.
The main character is Zeke. Right?
Yeah.
And he's real inquisitive.
For sure.
As most kids are. What is Zeke 5?
Zeke is 5 in my head.
Okay, Zeke is 5 in your head. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
And yes. And he he has a lot of questions about life and God and all of that, right?
Right.
So, what's my question on this?
How did we come to this question?
How did Zeke come to this point to where he's now discovering
why God made the world?
And how he's going to put it together. Because I feel like this was very advanced for a 5-year-old. Like, the process of it was very advanced.
Right.
I don't think I would have been able to do that at 5, but Zeke is obviously very gifted. So what was the do you challenge your 5-year-old like that?
I do.
Okay.
I do. And I think that, it may sound like, oh, Zeke is so smart, which he is. However, 5-year-olds are really smart. 4-year-olds are like, I am with 2 to about 5. Sometimes they're 6-year-olds.
Yeah.
I've been with them every day of my life for the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Going on 11 years.
Yeah.
And they are super bright.
Right.
And they do ask these, deep questions.
Okay.
And they do have a process of how they come to a conclusion.
Yeah, figuring it out.
Right.
Yeah.
If their parents don't tell them. So some parents are the parents that are just like, this is what it is, And then you have other parents that are like, well, what do you think? And they really do think. They do put it together, Okay. So Zeke, he asks his dad everything. And his dad, will answer his questions or help him find it or whatever. However, God is such a big concept that for me as a parent, I may feel one way about why God made the world and God, but I don't want to impose those thoughts on my 5-year-old or any other 5-year-old.
Right.
Because I think that's a very personal thing. And that's something that you'll just grow to develop on your own. So Zeke's dad is kind of like that. He's like, well, I don't know.
Right.
Why do you think? And put it back on him. So Zeke makes it his personal mission, to find out why God made the world, not only for, himself, but for his dad. So that he thought, oh, that's the only question my dad doesn't know.
Right.
So I'll find it out and then he'll know everything.
Right.
Because we think our parents know everything at that age.
Yeah.
And so he goes on this, personal journey of like typical things that kids would ask. Kids find out life about through books and through movies and things like that. They come to a lot of their conclusions through those things.
Do you find it difficult you're an educator, do you find it difficult to push kids to find the answer for themselves?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
In this day and age, because we live in and I feel like our parents said that when we were growing up, like, you guys want things right now. It doesn't happen right now.
But it's super immediate now. Right. They have their iPads.
Even more so, yeah.
Okay.
And parents, I think, bogged down with life and work and these are, attorneys and doctors and, things like that. They're like, I don't have time to sit there and like help you find the answer or let you I'm just going to tell you.
Right. I don't want to have to coach you or lead you
or assist you in that discovery. We should. People don't take the time. It's not anything against them. They just would rather, it's easier to tell a 5-year-old, this is what I think, and then let them go on, when you allow them to discover things for themselves, then you have to aid them in finding that. You know what I mean? If they want to go check out a book at a library. Right. They want to go to the zoo because they're curious about an animal.
Right. And I'd imagine that teaches them critical thinking.
Definitely.
Skills. It teaches them to think for themselves.
Definitely. And it gives them a sense of like pride and ownership and someone can't take that away from you.
And a sense of self, right? Like, oh no, this is what I believe it is.
Exactly.
So how much, being that you're an expert in this age range, how much information should you give a kid? Like if a kid comes to you and asks you, maybe like a political question, do you give them facts? Say, hey, this is this side's belief. This is this side's belief. But what do you believe? Like, do you?
Right.
How much information do you actually give them?
I think you give them as much information as you think they can understand at that age. Death is big, at this age. Their great-grandparents might be passing. Their grandparents might be passing. So that's a big one.
How do you answer those questions?
So
how do you answer?
It's very much Sarai. My grandmother passed, and Sarai was like, where did Nana go? And I'm like, well, where do you think Nana went? And with movies and things like that, she has a thought about it.
Right.
She's like, well, heaven, I guess. Okay, if that's what you think, then that's okay. You know what I mean? And for some kids, it's not going to stop there. They want to know, like, where's heaven? How do you get there? Things like that. And I think you just try to coach them through it as much as possible without giving them your preconceived notions about life. Right.
Does it ever rub them the wrong way that you won't share your thoughts? Because I feel like as a kid, I would be irritated.
For sure.
Like, I want to know what you think.
Right. For sure.
Okay.
And then at some point you can say, well, this is what I think. But what matters most is what you think. I mean, kids come up to me with it's easier for me to do with my own child, right? Because she knows me. She's a part of me. And she knows this is how mommy's going to answer you. At school, it is more difficult because their parents may be the parents that are giving them the answers. So they expect me to do the same. Miss Harris, do you like my artwork? Well, do you like it? They're like, so that's not what I wanted to hear,
Right. Like, I want to know if you like it.
Right, exactly.
I worked hard on this.
Right.
So what are some other questions that students ask you?
My age. If I have parents, do I live here? Do you live at school?
Wait, hold on. They ask you your age, and then what do you say? What do you think?
Oh no, I tell them that.
Oh, you tell them.
I tell them that because that's like a real legit fact, right? So they ask me, do I live there if I have parents, and then more broad questions like, where do babies come from?
Oh, yeah.
And those are the things that I'm like, well, that's something that you can talk to your parents with, about and things like that.
Well, what about if Sarai asks your baby?
Oh, I tell her.
You tell her where babies come.
She knows.
Oh, but how much information do you give her?
Well, I don't necessarily tell her, how babies are made. But I definitely let her know, like, where she was and where she came out of.
Oh, okay.
There's pictures and everything. Yeah, creepy. For sure.
Okay, so I feel like Zeke, this character Zeke actually could be, he's kind of like like we said earlier, he's a discoverer.
Right.
Like he likes to discover and figure things out. I feel like you could really develop this character into like a series.
Right. People have said that.
Yeah.
And there are a couple, I think Zeke has like a book or two. Yeah. He has this book, but he has 2 other books that I've written.
Okay.
That are his. So definitely it could be a series of questions for sure that he's answering or discovering or, finding out on his own.
Right. Okay. I do want to go on a break and come back and chat with you some more.
Okay.
Let's see. Our break song is, who's your favorite artist right now?
You already know. Always and forever.
Oh, Jay-Z.
And we just played Jay-Z. So
we did play Jay-Z.
We're good.
Yeah. I actually threw that in for you.
Oh, thank you.
I actually threw that
Always
in for you.
and forever.
Okay, so we're gonna take a quick break. Let's see here. We have Janae Aiko with New Balance.
Oh yeah, I like
this.
Her.
And this is actually a really good song. So
cool.
Check it out. Welcome back to The Scoop, you guys. That was Janae Aiko with New Balance. We are your one stop for all things love, lifestyle, and relationships. And I am your host, Ashley Marie. We're hanging out with author of Something Bigger Than Me, a new children's book that's out. There it is. Boom. Jamare Harris. And
hello.
Welcome to The Scoop, Jamare. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
All right. So let's see here. We left off talking about Zeke, the main character of the book. He's an explorer character. And we were talking about you possibly expanding that into a series.
Yeah.
But do you see yourself doing that in the future?
For sure. I have, like I said before, Zeke has about 2 other books that I've written before something bigger than me.
Okay.
So it was my first book, which is entitled Daddy's Always Come Back. And it was like Zeke's first day of kindergarten.
Okay.
And like the things that come with that. And then
great.
the other one is called Mom Says I Can Move Mountains. And it's about him just like going to different parts of his life, like going to school, going to baseball practice, and then wanting to be wherever he was. Like at school, he was like, oh, well, I'll grow up and I'll be a teacher. Baseball practice, he's like, well, what about a pro baseball player? He saw his mom making dinner. Oh, maybe I'll be a chef. And that's really how kids like process that.
Right,
you know, they want to be so many different things.
Right.
So that's another one.
That's awesome. Any other books aside from the Zeke character that you're working on?
I wrote a book for Sarai.
Aw.
Yeah. And I think that'll be the next one that I put out. It's called Chin Up Buttercup.
Chin Up Buttercup. Okay.
And it's a mother-daughter situation. And it's mostly, so I'm looking for illustrators.
Okay.
So it's mostly illustrations. And the words are really simple. But it's just about how, and it doesn't have to be a mother. It just happens to be our relationship. But how, you know, your mother is the pillar of strength for you, and how, you know, she's always telling you, or your mother figure is always telling you, you know, things happen, but, you know, chin up, keep going. And the message kind of at the end is just like, you know, you can cry and you can be sad and you can be angry. You can be all these things. You can be disappointed, but you can't give up. You know, that's not a choice.
Right.
And it's like it kind of goes from when she's a baby, like walking and falling, to a toddler, you know, falling off her bike, to going to grade school, getting teased by girls, to her first heartbreak, through like going away to college, through going through pregnancy and labor. And, you know, the pictures are really vivid in my mind. Right. And through it all, she's like, you know, chin up, buttercup. Like, this is hard. But you got
this is the process of life.
Exactly.
Okay. And speaking of processes, how long does this process take to write? From writing to, I guess, publishing, how long does this process take?
It can be fairly quick. It's really up to you. And I self-published because that was the best, you know, way for me to go at this point. Yeah. You know, big named companies, they see thousands of manuscripts. So, you know, when you send in most companies won't even let you send in your manuscript. You have to have a literary agent.
Wow.
That costs money, you know, things like that. So self-publishing, someone once told me, like, that's probably your best bet. Went ahead, paid the money to get self-published. And the great thing about self-publishing is you own your own stuff. Right. And that's the most important thing. You know, I own this, you know, no one's getting this besides me, and or can do anything with it besides me. So this took a while. This was a long process. This took a couple years. It doesn't have to take a couple years. Right. I could take my book tonight, call my publishing company, pay them the money to manufacture it. It could be 2 weeks. You know? Wow. It really depends on you. This happened to be my illustrator. It took a little time, you know, illustrating the book. So that took some time. You know, me being apprehensive about putting out, you know, a piece of myself, you know, that you know, that always holds
But I feel like self-publishing kind of goes along the lines of like artists creating their own content. Yeah, exactly. And, you know, actors that put together their own productions and things like that. So I feel like that's kind of along the lines of the way the culture is moving. For sure. You could be winning in that case, right? For sure. You can push it yourself and get all the proceeds, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So what would be like your dream book to write?
My dream book. Oh my gosh, that's a hard one.
Okay.
Let me think for a second. My dream book would have to be, I mean, this is kind of corny, but this is my dream book. Oh, okay. My dream book would be this because, I think that everything that I'm doing is something bigger than me. It's my first baby. And another dream book would obviously be something for my daughter.
Right.
Or, you know what? No. This is my dream book. But when Sarai's old enough, and she is right now, her maybe drawing the pictures or helping me write the words. So a collab. So
a collaboration. That would be great.
Or her drawing the pictures probably mostly.
Yeah. That would actually be great.
For
maybe
sure.
you guys do more than one collaboration.
Yeah.
Especially as she gets older.
Right.
All right. So, but let me ask you this. What story do you want to tell that you haven't told?
These are good. What story have I not told? You know what? I don't know how to go about it yet, but I want, to bring awareness to just what, Black children go through on a day-to-day basis. And I mean, from like bullying to and maybe not even bullying, but just we're such a spectacle, The movie Get Out rang so loud for me because, Sarai and I are, very natural. And it's a thing for people to want to come up and ask us, like, how often do you wash your hair? And, and I think that I want to. And there is a book kind of similar, but even young Black boys, just we're constantly being looked at and picked apart. And I just want to empower us, that we're beautiful just the way we are, and to kind of give them that, that courage, to stand up and say, this is how I am and this is beautiful.
Right. Bullying is like a big topic right now. So what do you like, how do you guys, or how do you as an educator, how do you combat bullying in the classroom?
So we see it at this age. It's not so big at this age, but it definitely starts. And it starts with them picking each other apart or excluding one another, or you can't go to my birthday party. These are the fights they have, or you can't come to my house, because that's all they have against each other, right? The way I do it is I attack it pretty aggressively, and we talk about how, we all don't have to be friends, but we have to respect each other, and this is what respect looks like. And if you aren't inviting such and such to your party, that's not something we talk about. And that, I think, can be carried out and that goes back to how our parents taught us, like, if you have nothing nice to say,
don't say it at all.
Right. So these are things that I'm instilling them young, and like the respect of it. You don't have to like them. You don't have to play with them. You do have to respect them. In my classroom and outside of my classroom, you need to respect everyone. And I'm big on that. And I'm just, telling them if they don't have anything nice to say or anything productive to say. And these are the kind of conversations I'm having with them. Like, was that productive? Was that nice? How did that help her or him? It didn't, right? Okay. Then you shouldn't be saying it.
Do you see yourself writing a book about bullying one day?
I'm sure. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. It would be necessary.
I feel like that would actually do really well, especially knowing the climate, the social climate, and how bullying is such a big deal with kids and adults. Right. So I think that could actually go very, very well. Right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Where can people find your book?
3 different platforms. So
okay.
Barnes and Noble online, Amazon.
Okay.
Online.
Okay.
Shout out to Amazon.
Yeah.
And Exlibris.com, which is the publishing company that I went through.
Spell Exlibris.
Exlibris.com.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's where people can find your book and purchase it.
Yes.
All right.
Definitely.
Cool. And give out your social media handles.
Okay. My social media, I just have Instagram and Facebook. It's at Jamare, J-A-M as in Mary, A-R-E, _ Harris, Harris. And you can go on there and you can stay tuned for my book signing, which will be the end of April.
Hey.
So, yeah.
Where's that going to be?
That's going to be at my preschool that I teach at.
Oh,
yeah. It'll be a family affair type of thing. Okay.
I love that. Thank you. All right. Well, we have coming up our financial guru. You can hang out with us for this. Cool. Johannes Harrison. I believe he's on the line now. Should we go to... Is he on the line? Okay. Yo. Oh, I have to put my headphones on.
Oh, me too? Or will I hear it?
No, you probably should put them on. Okay. Yo, are you on the line? Not yet. Not yet. Speaking of finances, do you talk to your students about finances? Do you guys have lessons?
I was just going to say that. Mini lessons. We give charity. They give charity every Friday.
Okay.
So they bring in charity. We talk about money, the concept of money, where the charity goes, how important it is to help people.
Right.
How important it is to save in their little piggy banks.
Yeah.
But my brother-in-law, Claude, we just wrote a children's book about financial freedom.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually gonna be a great one. I'm sure Yo would love to.
It's very cute, but it's good. It's good
to learn all about that. Hey, Yo, are you on the line?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I am great.
How's Alicia and baby Amira?
They're doing good. They're missing Daddy right now because I'm in Dallas, Texas.
You're in Dallas? What are you doing in Dallas?
I'm in Dallas, seeing some clients out here. I usually come right before tax time to help close up any loose ends that some of my business owner clients have going.
Okay. Love it. Well, for those of you who are just tuning in or who are not familiar, this is Johannes Harrison. He is our, I call him our financial guru, but he's actually a licensed financial advisor. He gives us wonderful tips every week. Yo, what tips do you have for us this week?
So I want to talk about that because it's tax time. I want to talk about the madness of tax refunds.
Oh, I just did my taxes last Sunday.
And I'm gonna put you on the spot. Did you get a refund?
I did. I didn't get much back though.
Didn't get much. Good.
No,
I'm glad to hear that.
I did not get. So I did not I overpaid Uncle Sam, but not by very much.
Good. I'm glad to hear it wasn't by very much.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to talk about.
But I was sad though, yo. I'm not gonna lie. I was sad. I was thinking about calling some people with kids to to try to inflate it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm only kidding.
Wow. I'm gonna pretend like I didn't hear that one.
No, I'm joking.
So here's the deal. Just some facts that are out there about tax refund. I mean, it's tax refund time, tax time that is. Most people have already done their tax returns. The average federal tax refund in America is just shy of $3,000. And every year I meet people that get $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $10,000 back in their tax refund.
Wow.
And
I get like a drop in the bucket compared to that.
Yeah, and what happens is they're excited, and more I meet CPAs sometimes that they have their clients are addicted to the tax refund.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, absolutely addicted. So to the tune where I have a CPA that I work with very closely. He started doing some work for another CPA whose partner, they'd split, what have you. And so he had a large overload of business. And these are people that were typically getting anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 refunds. And they are like blowing his phone up. Where's my refund? Where's my refund? I was counting on that. And I said, these people need to be educated that they're doing it wrong. So wrong. Mm-hmm. And here's why they're doing it wrong. Let me break it down for you. Okay.
Break it down. Yeah. Break it down.
America is also in debt. You've probably heard this message before.
Mm-hmm.
We're one of the most indebted nations on the planet. The average credit card balance of Americans is $16,425. This is as of 2015.
Okay.
The average interest that's paid on that debt is $1,300 a year.
Oh my gosh.
So here's what happens. These people, they wait all year long to get their tax refund. And by the way, they're planning how they're going to spend their tax refund in November. And come February, early March, they get their tax refund, and then they're taking that money and they're not using it to pay off their credit card debt. Or even if they do use it to pay off their credit card debt, you know what happens the next month?
They're charging
they use
it
the credit
back
card
up.
again.
Mm-hmm.
And they're right back in the same situation. And what really frustrates me the most is that in these great United States of America, land of the free, home of the brave, in order to graduate from high school, we have to know what a cosine is, a tangent, and a sine.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to know about mitochondria and and the history of the World War I and Vietnam War. But not one of us that I'm aware of in high school, that is, there may be a few spots around the country, but not many, do we have a lesson on how to fill out a W-4 form.
This is true.
And the W-4 form is what actually dictates for those that have a W-2 wage, meaning people that get a paycheck that have taxes withheld. That W-4 form dictates how much taxes is withheld from your check. So if you're in a position where you're getting a large refund, you literally, so let's say someone that has that average, $3,000 refund, that means you literally gave Uncle Sam an extra $250 each month. He didn't add any interest to it, and he just gives it back to you at the beginning of the year. Wow. And you know what people go and do with it? The thing is, the retail stores actually have built sales models based on tax time.
Right.
Where they offer additional 20%, 50%, whatever it is, just to drag consumers into the stores to spend their money after tax time. When in actuality, if they were managing their money a little bit more effectively, they could have that money during the year, and they could be using that money to help pay for the things that they need to pay for during the year, or even better, paying off the debt that they have.
Right.
So I encourage everyone, if you got a tax return, my rule of thumb is if your tax return, or if you owe, so if you owe or your refund exceeds 5% of your total earnings, you need to do some work. I would love for it to be within the 2 to 3% range, but if it's exceeding 5% of your total earnings, that means if you make $100,000 and you get a $5,000 tax refund, you're doing it wrong. I encourage you, sit down with a professional, not just a tax preparer. Shout out to all the tax preparers out there. You provide a vital service that's needed to Americans. However, tax preparers are extremely reactive. They do not do proactive tax planning. They're not going to sit with you and help you plan how can you get this money in your paycheck now versus you being dependent on them. That's job security for them, because you show up looking for them to do some magic so you get a tax return. They're not doing any magic. All they're doing is putting numbers in a spreadsheet and says, hey, this is what you're getting back.
This is what you're getting back, right?
Okay. So I encourage people to please, if you're in one of those situations where you're paying a lot of taxes at the end of the year or you're getting a huge refund, do some work with a professional to find out how you can restructure that so you can get that money now, and you can put that money back towards paying off the debt that you have, or you can put it towards your kids' education, or if you need to, you can use it just to pay your freaking light bill.
Right.
And keep that from going on your credit card each month. Or you can use it to build a cash reserve for yourself so that when you have an emergency, you get a flat tire, what have you, you have that money that's available instead of you using your credit card, borrowing from friends, those sort of things. So fortunately, in America, for the most part, the predatory lending has stopped on tax refunds. There used to be a time a few years ago where you get your taxes done and they would loan you the money up front and then charge you 20, 30% interest on that money. Luckily, those times have pretty much ended for the most part. Okay. They got rid of that. So that's good. But there's still a lot of Americans out there, like I said, that are addicted to that tax refund. And so I ask people, if you're in that situation, then please do some work and try to fix it. Now, I know it's kind of late for whatever happened with your taxes for 2017, so I'd like to give my general rule of thumb of what to do when you get a tax refund. I call it the rule of thirds. And Ashley, you may remember this. We talked about it maybe about a year ago. Sounds
familiar.
So the general rule of thirds, whenever you get extra money, your mom sends you a little gift in the mail, you get a tax refund, or you get a bonus. I like to use the rule of thirds, which is 1/3 of that money you put into your savings. You save it for a rainy day. 1/3 of that money, you use it to pay off whatever debt that you have that's out there. I don't care if it's a car, a house, a student loan, whatever. Take 1/3 and throw it at that debt. Every little bit helps. It reduces the amount of interest you pay over time. And then the final 1/3, that's what you get to take and plan the cruise with. Have some fun. We only get to experience this life one time.
Yes.
So I do agree. I do believe that you're supposed to have some fun as well. So take a third of it and have some fun. If you're one of those people that says, you know what, I really don't need to have any fun, great. Save half, use the other half to pay off your debt. What I would not encourage you to do is to ignore the first two, saving and paying off debt. If you are so fortunate that you don't have any debt to pay off, I would not say go out and blow half of it. I would say save 2/3 and put the other third towards having some fun. But if you do that consistently when you get extra money, I won't say never, but rarely will you be in a position where you look back and say, I wasted every dime of that. Because you would have done all of the things that are important to you when it comes to your finances.
Right. That's true. And I do remember the rule of thirds.
Yeah. I like it. So that's my message for this evening. Like I said, like a lot of people are getting them. The average is $3,000. I think the numbers were, I cannot remember. It was big. There's like 5-something million people get a tax refund. It's ridiculous. $324 billion the IRS is paying out this year. Actually, I have California's number here somewhere. I thought I had it. The amount. So just in California alone. Oh, wait, here's Texas. I'm in Texas right now. Texas, the average is 3,133, 10 million refunds.
Wow.
And then in California, it is, I know it was just shy of $3,000 as well. I can't find it in my notes anywhere. But anywho, again, my point to everyone is please do something different. Work with someone that can help you figure that out. Your best bet is to actually work with a CPA. It might cost you a little bit of money, but in the end, it's going to make a lot money for you. Like make a lot more money for you in the long run. So, here's California. $2,811 was the average refund. 13 million refunds worth $38 billion.
Wow.
Meanwhile, in the United States alone, there is $764 billion of credit cards and $1.3 trillion of student loans.
Mm.
So it's a vicious cycle. Anyhow, this is Johan Harrison. I'm financial advisor, wealth advisor. I'm CEO and owner of Money Script Wealth Management. You can catch me at my Instagram. At the Money Script, Twitter at the Money Script. Matter of fact, if you go to my Instagram and you follow me on Instagram, you will automatically be invited to follow my website, and you get some free information on how you can start to do better with your finances today. I'd love to hear what your questions, your comments, concerns. If you're looking for a tax professional that can help you with some of those things I just mentioned, send me a note. I'd be happy to refer you to someone that can help you restructure your money, take more control of that, so you're not sitting around in November planning on how you're going to spend a tax return you get in February, and you can figure out how you can be using that money all year long.
Love it. Thank you so much, yo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So this is our new spot. I mean, I know a lot of people, watch the.
Well, for now.
For now. Okay.
Yeah. For now. So we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. I just gotta make sure I'm ready.
No. I'll make sure you're ready. Don't worry.
Okay. I appreciate it.
I'll make sure you're prepared. So, but yeah, we're real excited about what you are going to share with us next week.
Yes.
And by the way, do you have any ideas of what's going to be next week? Topic?
Yes, I do have an idea what's next week. I'm going to take it kind of back to the basics a little bit. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit more about investing. I want to talk about the difference between a stock and a bond.
I love that. I need that.
Yeah.
I need to know.
Well, you need some stocks or you need some bonds?
Well,
need some both.
I downloaded I've downloaded it. I downloaded it maybe a year. It's been on my phone for about a year now. The Stash app.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what I'm doing on it. So we need a lesson or two on that.
Well, you're saving. That's the good news.
Yeah, I do save. I do save. Yeah.
Yeah, you do. But yeah, I'm going to talk about what a stock and a bond is and take it back to the basics.
All right, yo. Well, we appreciate you as per usual. You guys check out yo every week here on The Scoop. He always gives really, really good financial tips on how to get your money right, how to keep your money right. Just insider tips that you wouldn't typically know about or think about. He's always a great resource, and he's very willing to share that information. If you follow him on Twitter, Instagram, as he suggested earlier. But I do want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I want to thank all of my guests tonight. Thanks to MTV comedian Darren Brand for joining us all the way from North Carolina. He was awesome. And if you missed it, check the replay. I do want to thank my in-studio guest, author and educator, Jamare Harris.
Thank you.
You guys check out her book. Go pick up her book, Something Bigger Than Me. You can find it on Amazon, on
Barnes and
Noble, and
Ex Libris.
Yes, you're gonna have to say that because I can't say that. You guys can check out The Scoop replay on YouTube. You can just type in The Scoop with Ashley Marie and the replay will pop up. You can follow me on Instagram. My personal page is Ms. Ashley Marie. And you can follow The Scoop's Instagram for the latest happenings in the world at The Scoop on Air. That's on Instagram. And we also have a Facebook page at The Scoop on Air as well. And you can follow me on Facebook at Ashley Bowden. And if you have any suggestions, if you'd like to join us on The Scoop, we feel more than welcome to reach out to me. My email, or The Scoop's email, is at thescooponair@gmail.com. All right. I do want to thank everyone for tuning in. Until next time. Ciao.